What if the very future of the Caribbean hinges on how effectively and urgently the region unites in the face of unprecedented geopolitical challenges? With Donald Trump's sweeping new tariffs imposed on the region, along with drastic cuts in USAID and other essential programs, Caribbean countries are now confronting intense economic pressures and increased vulnerabilities. These geopolitical shifts, coupled with long-standing issues such as devastating natural disasters, entrenched poverty, escalating crime rates, and burdensome economic burdens, have brought the Caribbean to a critical crossroads. Now, more than ever, unity and collective action among Caribbean nations aren't just ideal, they're imperative. The Caribbean's call to unity is not just a concept, but a shared responsibility and a potential solution to many issues that the region is currently facing. Mia Mottley, chairwoman of CARICOM and the Prime Minister of Barbados, called fellow Caribbeans to rise above petty division. And she's not the only one calling for the Caribbean countries to join hands. At the recently held 48th HGC conference, the Secretary General of CARICOM, Carla Bennett, emphasized that, quote,
"The current global challenges cannot be effectively addressed in splendid isolation."
In this video, we'll break down the 3 areas where solidarity could help the Caribbean overcome its obstacles and secure a prosperous future. Let's get started. Unity against geopolitical and economic challenges. The shift in the United States' geopolitical policies, notably the implementation of a 10% tariff on all Caribbean countries and 38% in the case of Guyana, plus the significant reductions in USAID and other crucial programs like healthcare and crime preventions, have created profound economic and developmental obstacles for the Caribbean region. These tariffs sharply raised the costs of Caribbean exports, undermining economic stability and threatening the viability of regional industries. Additionally, the curtailment of critical USAID initiatives limits resources necessary for effective disaster response, poverty alleviation, and healthcare improvements. To counter these challenges, the Caribbean must embrace regional cooperation in trade policy, pursue alternative funding mechanisms, establish regional development banks, and foster stronger diplomatic alliances both within and beyond the region. Achieving self-reliance through collective economic strategies and greater regional independence is essential in navigating and mitigating these geopolitical pressures. Another important challenge we need to come together on is climate action. In the words of Antonio Guterres, quote, "Wave after wave of crisis is pounding your people and your islands, with no time to catch your breath before the next disaster strikes."
Wave after wave of crisis is pounding your people and your islands with no time to catch your breath before the next disaster strikes.
The Caribbean countries are less than 1% of the global population and have done next to nothing to cause these natural catastrophes. Yet, they are, quote, "wrecking economies, ruining lives, and threatening your very existence." Over the last few years, we have witnessed Hurricane Maria cause unprecedented loss of life, volcanic eruptions take their toll on St. Vincent, heavy rains and severe flooding in Belize and Guyana, and Hurricane Dorian caused massive damage and flooding in the Bahamas, to name a few. In March, the Caribbean Meteorological Organization brought various organizations to improve disaster readiness in the region, including preparing children for any future calamity. Not only that, Trinidad and Tobago's Minister of National Security has urged young people to be, quote, "proactive in taking action to improve personal, community, and national disaster resilience." It's also important to note that climate action is not restricted to disaster preparedness. It also has dire economic consequences. On average, Caribbean countries import 87% of petroleum, way above the global average of 21%. For energy sustainability, the region needs to pivot to green energy. The UN Green Climate Fund has allocated $50 million to Jamaica to help transition toward cleaner sources. Grenada, Guyana, and St. Lucia have also agreed to a $132 million World Bank project to improve energy efficiency and increase the use of renewable energy. All in all, CARICOM needs to kickstart collective initiatives that help the region go green. As the UN General Secretary pointed out, the Caribbean needs to make a concerted effort to tap its vast renewables potential and to turn its back on costly fossil fuel imports. Along with climate action, the Caribbean also needs unity for peace and security. Whether it be the gang violence in Haiti, we can't deny the fact that the Caribbean is slowly becoming a hotbed of violent crime. The Secretary General is adamant that CARICOM must keep up its unified support and advocacy for Haiti, helping the country in its fight for peace and security. Receiving Chenet Saint-Ville, the new ambassador of the Republic of Haiti to CARICOM on April 10th, reiterated that the entire region remains, quote, committed to supporting and uplifting the people of Haiti. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Your likes help the YouTube algorithm promote our videos to a broader audience. Thanks for your support. Recently, the Trump administration suspended USAID in the Caribbean. In addition to disaster relief in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria, Dorian, and Beryl, the funds were also crucial in managing poverty, a major marker for reducing crime. But now with the US aid suspended, the Caribbean had to come together in order to help Haiti get through this crisis. Kenyan forces arrived in the country last year to help the National Haitian Police, but they were outgunned, outmatched, and outnumbered. Haiti sent a formal request for a peacekeeping mission to the UN. However, this request was denied. Other Caribbean countries, including Antigua and Barbuda, Jamaica, Bahamas, Guyana, and Barbados, have sent their soldiers to fill out the numbers, and Kenya has been sending more contingents. And at the moment, the total number of peacekeeping soldiers is nearly 1,000. However, more concerted regional efforts need to be made to improve the situation on the ground. Addressing the CELAC countries, Haiti's presidential advisor Leslie Voltaire expressed the urgency for immediate action. Quote, our nation needs a surge of solidarity, concrete actions to combat insecurity, and real support to rebuild hope. The time for rhetoric is over, but for commitment. The Caribbean must also come together in the economic realm, as unity for sustained economic development is also essential in the region. CARICOM Single Market and Economy, or CSME, allows fairly smooth transfer of goods and services between the Caribbean countries, but it has a hard time keeping up with constantly changing markets. Carla Bennett recently explained, quote, internally, we are seeking to make our single market work more efficiently by simplifying the process of amendment of the community's rules of origin to allow us to more effectively respond in a rapidly changing trade environment.
Internally, we are seeking to make our single market work more efficiently by simplifying the process of amendment of the community's rules of origin to allow us to more effectively respond in a changing trade environment.
Cooperation from member states would drastically improve the timeline for these changes. However, we should note that economic cooperation remains futile if the region is starved of adequate financing, as debt servicing soak up funds and international financial institutions remain underpowered. For instance, Antigua and Barbuda brought its debt-to-GDP ratio down to 62% in 2024. This is an enviable achievement. However, Prime Minister Brown acknowledges that while the country has made significant strides in reducing the debt-to-GDP ratio, the debt service ratio remains uncomfortably high. CARICOM needs to establish strict regimens for enforcing financial discipline across the Caribbean so that the entire region can reduce its deficits. At the same time, we cannot fall into the trap of reducing our deficits at the cost of development. The entire region needs to work toward diversification of our economy from just energy exports. The 25 by 2025 Food Security Initiative by Guyanese President Irfan Ali has been extended to 2030. In the words of the President, quote, we are adding some additional goals. We were successful with expanding production notwithstanding hurricanes, storms, floods, all of which destroyed production and productive capacity. But our farmers, our policymakers, have shown tremendous resilience.
So we are adding some additional goals. We are successful in expanding production, notwithstanding hurricanes, storms, floods, all of which destroyed production and our productive capacity. But our farmers, our policymakers would have shown tremendous resilience in reinvesting and ensuring that our focus on increased food production and food security remain a priority for the region. Thank you.
In her rousing speech, Mia Mottley assured everybody that, quote,
"We are working and will continue to work to become more self-sufficient."
But these goals are only achievable if the Caribbean stays resilient in the face of increasing dangers and continues to work toward joint goals. The Caribbean stands at a crossroads. Its future is shaped by how well the region comes together today. From tackling climate change to fostering peace and economic growth, unity is not just a choice, but a necessity. The call for solidarity is louder than ever, and with concerted effort, the Caribbean can turn its challenges into opportunities. As Mia Mottley said, the region is capable of becoming more self-sufficient, resilient, and united. It's time to rise above division, work together, and build a brighter, stronger future for all. Now, we have some questions for you. Do you think the Caribbean can actually come together to overcome all these challenges? And how do you think a united Caribbean will succeed in the long run? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to know your opinion. And if you found this video insightful, make sure you also check out our video on how the Caribbean is pivoting to new markets after US tariffs. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more videos on the Caribbean's journey to unity and progress. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you stay in the loop with our latest updates. This is Caribbean Focus. See you in the next video.